Okay, so we are now at 7.EE.2, still expressions and equations, but now we're rewriting an expression in different ways. Um, so you might think of a certain way to solve this problem, but your options, and that's why there's A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D here, because your options might not match up with the way you did it. So what you're needing to do is manipulate the problem, move things around so that what you have is one of the options. So which represents the perimeter of the rectangle. And this is an important word in this because I've already had a student talk to me about how this problem and this problem are the same. But you'll note that this one says perimeter and this one says area, which is completely a different question. So perimeter, if we'll remember, is going all the way around. When you add up all the sides, how far around is it? So since this is a rectangle, I know that this is 5x minus 2, and I know that this is x. So I know all my sides because I know these two sides are equal and I know these two sides are equal. So which represents the perimeter? So it could be 5x minus 2 plus 5x minus 2 plus x, but that's not here. So we have to find one that makes sense. Well, here we'll see I have two of these. So here I've gotten one where I have 5x minus 2, but it's multiplied by 2. I also have an x and an x. There's two of them, and I also have 2x. So B is actually your answer here because that was the simplified version of what we're doing. It can't be this one because we have x minus 2 plus x minus 2, which is great, but we only have one x. We're missing another x. If there was another plus x, that would be perfect, but we don't. We have x, 5x minus 2 here plus x, which covers this side and this side, but it forgot about these two sides. So that's why those other two answers are not correct. Okay. If we come over here, you know what? Let's go ahead and skip down to number 4 because they're so similar. Okay. Which represents the area of the rectangle. Now we know the area is length times width. Okay. So we have length and we have width. So which one of these shows this times this? Well, I have 5x minus 2. Well, this is 5x plus 2. So I know this one can't be the answer because that's... And here I have 5x minus 2, which is great. So this is 2 times 5x minus 2 plus 2x. That's the same answer that I had up here. They're trying to be tricky and give you the answer for perimeter, but they're asking you for area. So we know B can't be right. So now we're just down to 2 answers. So now we have 5x minus 2 plus x plus 5x minus 2 plus x. Again, that is how you find a perimeter. We're adding. In order to find area, you have to be multiplying. So we know D is not right. So we have 5x minus 2 times x, which is exactly what we have here. So we know here our answer is C. Okay. Number 2, Mary spends $23 at a restaurant and wants to add a 15% tip, which represents the total cost of the meal. I want to know the total cost of the meal, not how much the 15% tip was, but the total cost of the meal. So what I would do is I would find 15% of 23. So let's see, 15%. Well, I don't see any percent signs here, so they must be using a decimal. So I remember that 15%, if I take the decimal and I move it over 2 places, that gives me the decimal. So 0.15 is the decimal. So I can find 0.15 of 23. Let's see, 0.15. Oh, there's no multiplying of 0.15. So, 20, there it is. I'm sorry, it's not 0.15, it's 1.5. See how they're trying to be tricky here? So I know it can't be this one. And there's no multiplying here either, so it can't be this one. So, and that's just 15, not 0.15, not 0.15. So, here is 100, 1.15. Let's think about that. That shows that I have 100% of my meal, which is $23, and then I'm adding 15%. I'm adding 15%, so that gets 115%. Now I can change this to a decimal, 1, 2. That is 1.15. So then your answer must be A, because it's $23 was the cost of your meal, times 1.15, 115%, because I have to pay the $23 plus 15%. We're going to come over here. A store is having a 25% off sale. Off meaning it's going to be cost less. If a shirt originally cost $18, what will be the cost of the shirt after the discount? And if you'll notice, none of these problems actually asks for the answer. It wants you to rewrite your expressions. Okay, so how normally people would find the answer is they would find 25% of 18. So they would say 18 times 0.25, and they would find out what their discount is. Then they would take that amount and they would subtract it, whatever their amount was, and they would find out how much it costs at the end. But they're not giving us that option, okay? They're not giving us 18 minus the discount. There's no 18 minus the discount over here at all. So what there is if I'm discounting this by 25%, that means all I'm left paying, because if I have 100% minus 25%, I'm left with 75% that I have to pay, okay? That is an option. We have $18 times 75% because that's all I have to pay is 75%. So our answer here is D, okay? Because we're not having to subtract or anything after that. That's just the answer. So like I said, this might be how you think to figure it out, but that's not what it's asking you. It's asking you to move around your numbers to make it fit one of these options.